This video reveals the 5-step system I use to build a $1 million online business starting from zero. These steps are simple, scalable, and proven. But if you're missing even one of these 5 steps, your business will stay stuck and you'll keep wondering why nothing's working. But follow all 5 and you can create a consistent, life-changing income. Let's break it down. Step number 1, who? When I first started my business, I really struggled with the idea of finding the perfect niche. I'd just become a registered dietitian and I was posting all of these random things about health, trying to be helpful and very general in a lot of ways. But to be totally honest, I was just throwing sticks at a wall to see what would stick. But everything changed and my business completely exploded when I nailed down my niche and I got really crystal clear on who I was actually speaking to. And so your niche is simply a specific group of people who want and need what you offer. So that could be a product, a service, or even your content. And it's not just about demographics like age and gender. It's about desires and pain points and problems they just can't solve on their own. When you don't have a niche, there are 3 big problems that you run into. Number 1, you blend in with everyone else. You sound like every other coach, freelancer, or YouTuber, and no one has a solid reason to pick you over everyone else. And number 2, most people can't find you. Most people think they have to go and find the clients and the customers. But when your niche is dialed in, your clients and your customers come to you. You become findable because they feel like you're speaking directly to them and you understand their problems way better than they do. And then number 3, without a niche, you won't feel confident. If you're unsure about who you're actually serving, it's really hard to show up confidently, price your offers well, or even explain what you do. And so doubt creeps in and you'll start second guessing everything, your content, your offers, and even your own work. And so let me give you an analogy to explain how I want you to think about your niche. I want you to imagine it as a Venn diagram. Each circle represents a different element of your niche. So this could be a skill of yours, it could be a passion, it could be a particular audience, demographic, or one of their pain points. So let's take the example of a health coach. It's pretty vague on its own. It's also why things didn't go so well for me at the start of my business journey. But if you narrow it down to a health coach who helps women specifically going through menopause overcome their symptoms with diet changes because you're a dietitian, you've now created a perfect niche. It speaks to a specific person with a specific problem and offers a specific transformation. And it's hard for other people to easily replicate so you can stand out because nobody can replicate me and nobody can replicate you. And so here's the most important part. The more valuable the problem that you solve, the more you can charge. That makes sense, right? But it's actually harder to sell a really big solution to someone at a low price point because energetically, there's an incongruence for your client or your customer. If someone's marriage is literally falling apart, or they're dealing with chronic health issues, or they're stuck in a job they absolutely hate, they're not just looking for advice, they're looking for a genuine solution, a permanent solution to their problem. And if you offer a deep, high-value transformation, but then you only charge $300 for it, they won't trust you. And they'll think, if it's that cheap, surely it can't be that good. They must not truly understand my problem. You'll relate to this if you've ever found yourself buying a portable charger on Amazon that sounds too cheap, but you buy it anyway, and lo and behold, it turns out to be faulty. That's the exact same energy that your customer feels if your pricing doesn't match the value that they're looking for to solve their problem. And so if you really want to nail your niche, here are some very specific action steps. Number 1, write down exactly what problem you solve. Then write down the specific outcome you deliver to your ideal client or customer. And here's the hard part. Come up with 10 different ways you could explain your solution to someone. So for me, the turning point wasn't just figuring it out on paper, it was getting out there and talking to people. I made a decision. I was going to stop hiding behind the perfect Canva post and just start having conversations with people. I reached out to the people in my network. I asked questions. I shared what I thought I could help people with. And most importantly, I listened. And what I found was that people didn't always use the same words I did. They didn't always say, I'm looking for a transformational health protocol. They said, I just want to feel like myself again. And that changed everything for me. I started using their language, not mine. And that's when I noticed people leaning in and people started DMing me and started scheduling discovery calls. And it felt less like pitching and a lot more like connecting. And so if you're stuck, don't wait for clarity to hit you from your laptop screen. Go and have real conversations. That's where your niche starts to reveal itself. This is how you truly figure out your niche. And once you do, everything else in your business gets a whole lot easier. So let's now move on to number 2, which is how. Because once you know who you're going to help, the next step is to actually get clear on the real results, the way you're actually going to get results for your clients. This goes hand in hand with your niche because you can't build a strong offer if you don't know exactly who you're building it for, and it applies no matter what kind of business you're actually building. If you sell a particular service, your signature offer might be a premium coaching package or a consulting session. If you sell a physical or a digital product, your offer is how that product solves a specific problem, bundling it with your experience and support. Even content creators have signature offers. Like maybe it's an online course, a digital product, a membership program, but all offers need 3 key things, which I'm going to get into right here. First, let me tell you where most people go completely wrong, especially at the start. See, when I sat down to plan my first signature offer for the Online Coach Intensive, I was so excited. I had clarity, I had energy, and I felt like I finally knew what I was doing. But instead of taking the first step, my brain did what so many of us do, and I went into overdrive. What should I call my offer? Should the name match my brand? What should my landing page look like? What's my onboarding process? How will I deliver this? And suddenly, I was no longer taking action. I was just stuck in the loop of productive procrastination. Productive procrastination is when you start doing things that feel smart and strategic, but they're really just keeping you stuck and safe. You're busy, but you're not moving forward. And all the planning I was doing was really just worry in disguise. What happens if I mess this up? What if people ask questions that I can't answer? What if it's not perfect? But there's this very fine line between planning and worrying. And the best way to avoid going down the worry rabbit hole is to ignore every step and just do the first one. Don't let your brain think too far in advance before you've actually committed to the first step. And so that's why I love the quote from Tony Robbins: never leave the scene of a decision without first taking a specific action towards its realization. Because this is exactly how you set your business in motion. So when you're making your signature offer, all you need is these 3 things. Strategy. What are the key steps your ideal customer needs to take in order to start seeing a shift in their lifestyle? What's the process you're going to walk them through? A strategy. Mindset. Your client or your customer will have doubts. Will this really work for me? What if I fail again? And so a great signature offer addresses those doubts before they even ask them. And support. People don't just pay for information, they pay for implementation. And so how are you actually holding their hand through their journey? Are you giving them tools, community, accountability, and personal guidance? These 3 things are all you need to design a signature offer that actually gets people amazing results. And no, you don't need a giant track record. You don't need 50 testimonials behind your name. And so even in the beginning, when I first started with OCI, in the beginning, you don't have a lot of testimonials and a lot of transformation because you haven't done it yet. And I was still making a lot of money. And no, you don't need a giant track record. You don't need 50 testimonials behind your name. When I first started the Online Coach Intensive, I had never taken anyone through it. So therefore, I didn't have any testimonials to show anyone, and I was still making a lot of money. And by the way, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, my name is Valerie Ellher, and I'm the founder of the Online Coach Intensive. I help coaches start and grow their online coaching business in 90 days or less without a huge audience or a fancy website. And I actually walk you through this offer creation process in my 5-day training. I'll leave the link to it down below so you can see when our next training is coming up and register for it there. Step 3, where? Okay, so now let's talk about properly testing your business idea. Whether you're launching a product, offering a service, or building an audience online, you need one thing to validate your idea: leads. And a lead is simply a signal of interest, someone raising their hand saying, hey, I want what you're offering. Because you can't build a business without any signals of interest. You wouldn't keep cooking a meal for your family if no one liked it. And it's the same with business. You wouldn't work on something that no one's interested in. And so the sooner you start generating signals, the sooner you stop guessing. But most people I work with fall into the trap of using what I call the hope and pray strategy. I hoped someone would find my website. I prayed that a client would come and refer me. I crossed my fingers and posted online waiting for someone to magically slide into my DMs. But let me tell you this, the hope and pray strategy doesn't work. Not consistently and not sustainably. You can't build a thriving business on hope. So instead, you need two things. Number one, you need to get your message in front of the right people. And so it sounds simple, but most people completely miss this. If you're selling handmade candles, you shouldn't be marketing to people looking for power tools. If you are a productivity coach, don't try to help everyone focus on burned out professionals or overwhelmed students, whoever your niche is. And that's why mapping out the customer journey is so important. If your ideal customer walks into a car wash, can you show up there? If they're scrolling on TikTok at 11 p.m., how do you appear in their feed? And number two, you need a system to capture all that interest. I call this the faucet system because it literally takes people who didn't know who you are and it creates a faucet of leads that are finding you. People always ask me, how am I ever going to find leads? Where am I going to find the right people? But really, the right question to ask is, how am I going to make myself more findable to the people that need me? And that's exactly what the faucet system allows you to do, because it puts you in front of people who are already looking for help to the solution that you have to offer. They already desire to buy the thing that you desire to sell. And then your lead generation system is in place so that you can control the flow. And so if you need more leads, you need to turn up the faucet on your faucet system. You don't need to turn it down, you just turn it up. And then your lead generation system is in place so you can control the flow. If you need more leads, you turn up the faucet, and if you don't need more leads, you turn off the faucet. So if you want to learn more about this system, again, sign up for my challenge. I leave the 5-day training down below so you can register when we're having our upcoming challenge where I walk you through this system. Now, once you have a way to consistently bring in leads and you're no longer building a business in the dark and you're no longer panicking every time you launch something new with new leads and you're testing your business with real feedback and real interest, you can always make confident decisions based on the information and the data that you're gathering. Step 4 is show. This step is all about making your ideal customer understand how you can actually help them. And the truth is, the biggest obstacle usually isn't your product or your service or your skills. The issue isn't just what you're doing, it's how you're being when you do it. This is why two different people can sell the exact same product and offer the exact same service or even share the same message online, but get completely different results. One person's business starts growing fast and the other person feels like everything is a complete flop. And it all comes down to something I call the identity scale. And when I first started out, I was stuck at the beginning of that scale. I had the idea, my niche, my offers, and even some of the content, but I was still operating from the mindset of someone just starting out or the newbie entrepreneur. I felt unsure of myself constantly, second guessing what I was putting out into the world. I held back from sharing my offers clearly because deep down, I was afraid of being judged, afraid of being ignored, or failing publicly. And that fear kept me small. Don't get me wrong, this is completely normal. We all start here. It's part of the journey, and it's just the very human part of your brain trying to keep you safe. But if you're stuck in the newbie entrepreneur mindset, you'll stay stuck and invisible. Now contrast this with the other side of the scale, which is what I call the expert entrepreneur. This is the version of you who shows up with clarity and a calm confidence. You know the value of your offer and you're not afraid to make it. You're also not trying to convince everyone to buy from you. You are simply showing up consistently and making thoughtful offers to the right people, the people you genuinely know you can help. But the real question is, how do you shift from one identity to the other and go from newbie entrepreneur to expert entrepreneur? You don't have to fake it, and you definitely don't have to wait until you feel ready, because that moment will actually never come. You become the expert by showing up to serve. And what I mean by this is acting like the person who already helps people before you feel perfect or truly confident in yourself. And so this might mean posting helpful content regularly, even if only 3 people see it. Running small workshops or live sessions to solve real problems, even with just 2 attendees. Or making your first offer even if it's messy or low ticket, because just by doing it, you actually learn how to refine it. Just take one small step at a time to become the expert entrepreneur. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. It might feel scary or even slightly awkward, but this discomfort is actually a sign that you're growing. It's a sign that you're doing the work of shifting your identity from I'm just trying this out to this is what I do now. Step 5, offer. Before you rush into actually making your offer, you need to understand something really important, because there are 2 types of offers that you can make, and only one will get you the result that you actually want. And so you first got to understand the broke offer. And this is the type you don't want to make, okay? Your broke offer uses language that your clients don't understand yet, which means they don't connect with you. And when they don't connect with you, they won't buy what you're offering. Number 2, your offer is confusing. It gives off self-focused energy where you are thinking things like, I really need to get clients. I really need them right now. It's this desperate energy. And you may not even realize it, but this energy repels people. Clients can sense when you're coming from a place of fear, frustration, any type of needy, graspy desperation, and they don't want to engage with it. And a broke offer comes from a place of having an agenda that's not focused on the person you're trying to serve. Instead, you're hyper-focused on the offer itself, right? And so now let's look at the type of offer that you do want to make. This is the abundant offer. Instead of using complicated words and language, you want to pass the kindergarten test. Would a 5-year-old understand this? If the answer is no, then simplify your offer, because when your offer is simple and easy to grasp, your potential clients immediately know if it's for them or if it's not for them. Instead of only thinking about yourself, you want your offer to pass the share test. When you share something on social media, like a reel or a TikTok to make someone smile or laugh in their day, you're not doing it for you, you're doing it in service of others. And this is how you create the best offer out there, one that actually helps people. It's coming from a place of sharing and serving. And when you make an abundant offer, you remind yourself of why you started in the first place. What was the mission and the purpose behind it? Because when you're driven by a strong, clear vision and your energy shifts, you're not desperate for clients. You're offering a solution that people genuinely need. And instead of coming from a place of, I don't have clients yet, you let your clients come to you. This is what an abundant offer looks like. And remember from step 4, the issue is never what you're doing, is how you're being when you do it. And so when you make your offer, it's not just about the product, service, or content you're providing, it's about how you're showing up. Are you coming from a place of desperation and fear, or abundance, clarity, and a desire to serve others? The energy that you bring your offer is just as important as the offer itself. But if you've made it to this point in this video and you're still struggling to land on a single business idea, that single niche, definitely check out this video next. Successful entrepreneurs know how to avoid what's called shiny object syndrome, which is a big trap a lot of new business owners fall into. And I share exactly how to avoid it in this video over here, along with lots of other brutally honest advice I wish I knew when I was starting my first business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.